A new bill in the House wants to hit BP right where it hurts, in the pocketbook. Legislation has been introduced calling for BP to pay royalties on every gallon of oil that is spilled in the Deepwater Horizon disaster. Under current regulations, oil companies like BP are only required to pay royalties on gallons of oil that they have sold. Federal agencies like the Minerals Management Service can charge royalties for oil spilled only after a company is charged with negligence. The bill is called the Spilled Oil Royalty Collection Act and would force BP to pay royalties regardless of negligence finding. That money would go toward paying environmental fees for offshore wind and tidal power projects. Joining us now is the architect of this proposed legislation, Democratic Congresswoman Chellie Pingree. Thank you so much for being here today.
Sure, thank you.
Now, normally this would be contingent on a negligence finding, which could be years away.
Absolutely, and we don't want it tied up in litigation. We want people to understand this is an American resource. They should pay right away. Basically, you break it, you bought it, you start paying for it. This could be worth up to $100 million for what we think is already spilled.
So just from what is already spilled, $100 million in royalties that you might think that we could fight for years and years for. Do you have support behind you on this?
Yes, I just introduced this bill and I'll be talking to my colleagues this week. But as you know, we're hearing from our constituents every day. My colleagues in Congress are very upset and angry. And frankly, what better excuse to make us really start doing something about renewable energy?
Now, one of the things that BP has been criticized for throughout is basically understating, in a lot of people's opinion, understating in the beginning what it could be, what it is. And as far as criminal charges that come in the future, is that something that they will be looking into, that maybe BP has understated the effects of this oil spill due to avoid paying royalties on it?
Well, it's a good question. You know, we've been hearing lots of new information now, as much as 100,000 barrels a day. I mean, it's really pretty scary what's going on out there. I know you've had Matt Simmons on the show a few times. He's actually one of my constituents back in Maine. And a month ago, he was saying this could be 122,000 barrels of oil going out every day. It is, as you can see, it's a disaster of enormous proportions.
Do you see Republican pushback on this?
You know, I think the Republicans are in a hard position to keep pushing back on this. And frankly, I come from a state that's a third Republican, a third Democrat, and a third independent. I represent islands and fishing communities. As I came across the bay this morning to head over to Washington, you know, I thought about the work we're doing there. I live in a community where we already have 3 1.5 megawatt wind towers. We're supplying all of our own wind power. My state wants to do 5 gigawatt wind towers by 2030. You know, we need to move forward on renewable energy and stop this.
Is it with the knowledge of the Exxon Valdez and how long it has taken?
Oh, think of it. I mean,
that you are going forward with this legislation.
Absolutely. You say, you know, you go in that territory, they say it's all cleaned up, and you dig down 1 foot, and there it is. And you hear from the fishermen, from others already, the impact it's having. This could go on for generations. We have alternatives right now. I think this should force us into doing, you know, more renewable energy. I was hoping people might go on my Facebook page. It's just Chellie Pingree on Facebook, you know, and get into a conversation about this. I think this is something people can get behind, and we want to do something about making them pay royalties, having some money to invest in renewable energy, and stopping this.
All right, Congresswoman Pingree, thank you so much. And
thank you.
Good luck to you.